Rebecca Newton was 18 years old. Her long, brown hair bounced on her slim shoulders as she ran lightly down the stairs and strode with slim, athletic legs towards the door. Her bright green eyes shone with anticipation of the day ahead. She wore her orison uniform proudly. Designed in the style of the ancient Greeks, its short skirt and top were made of blue and white silk, and on her feet were blue leather boots. She paused for no more than a few seconds to attach her crystal sword. Glowing with confidence and knowing that she looked good, she opened the door and stepped out into the sunshine of utopia, ready to depart for the flame ceremony. The sound of feet pounding across cobbles made her turn. 6 powerfully built men dressed in blue cloaks appeared from behind the stables and ran towards her across the courtyard. She froze for an instant, before seeing that beneath the flowing blue cloaks, the men wore outfits of black leather. "Treachery! Sharkans!" Rebecca shouted, springing into classic fighting stance, a posture of strength that belied her youth and fragile build. Her crystal sword flashed in the sun, and, for a moment, the Sharkans hesitated in their charge, as if sizing up their foe. One of them found the courage to lunge at her, but she danced lightly aside and kicked out, striking him hard and fast in his gut. He yelped like a puppy and crashed to the ground, hugging himself tightly and moaning in pain. As the second Sharkan rushed at her, Rebecca leapt high in the air, spun round and slammed her foot deep into his throat, sending him down beside his colleague. His eyes bulged and a terrible gurgling noise dribbled from his slack jaw. The remaining 4 Sharkans were taking no chances. They whirled a large net over their heads and threw it with remarkable skill and accuracy over their prey, ensnaring her like a brightly coloured butterfly. Even with her limbs contained, she continued to lash out, trying to slash through the netting to reach her captors. Their only chance was to pin her down, and all 4 of them hurled their heavy bodies on top of the net, emitting savage, animalistic growls of anger. Winded and unable to move her arms or legs beneath their bulk, she could do nothing but bite until they forced a piece of hide tightly between her teeth, gagging her painfully. One of them drew his sword, forcing the blade against the soft flesh of her long neck, making it even harder for her to breathe. "Shut up," he snarled, "or I'll slice your head off like a chicken." There was nothing she could do to free herself from the weight of the men, and once she had given up struggling, they blindfolded her with rough hands. As her world turned to black, and she surrendered to their power, she felt her soul, which had been soaring with joy just a few minutes ago, fill with despair, and her mind cloud up with confusion. The Sharkans worked fast, winding a rope tightly around her body and pinning her arms to her sides until she resembled a ball of string. Once they were sure she could not move, they carried her behind the stables and tossed her onto the floor of their waiting cart like a package, banging her head painfully upon the landing. Then they turned their attention to their fallen comrades, one of them still groaning, while the other lay silent and motionless. They lifted them gently into the cart beside her. 3 of the men clambered into the back, while the 4th climbed up in the front, took up the reins and urged the 6 black horses forward. They covered Rebecca and their wounded colleagues with hides as the cart lurched away, forcing them all to cling on to the sides. Rebecca urged herself to stay calm and think clearly. From the constant groans coming from the injured Sharkan, she guessed that she had probably broken his spine. She also reckoned that the one she had struck in the throat was dead. From her kung fu training, she could judge with a high degree of certainty the outcome of any blow she inflicted. She felt sick at the thought that she had killed someone for the first time. Even though it had been in self-defense, and she would have killed all of them if she had had a chance, she still felt bad to have taken a life. Unable to see anything through the blindfold, she had no idea where they were taking her. She felt as helpless as a fish on the deck of a fisherman's boat. Lying face down, she could do nothing to escape the full force of every rock and pothole the wheels of the cart went over. Waves of nausea threatened to overcome her, and the pain was becoming unbearable. If it hadn't been for the gag, she would have been unable to suppress the screams. Her sword dug into her side, and she felt her strength ebbing away. It felt as if the men had also trapped time in the net with her, and were pulling it backwards. Every minute seemed like an hour, and every hour like a year. Rebecca wondered if her abductors had been ordered to take her alive, because there was a strong possibility